Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at what's new from Joytoy. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Neve and the Black Talons become the first Age of Sigmar characters to get Joytoy treatment. Our friends at Joytoy have created an extensive collection of Warhammer action figures, from the towering Primarchs of the Horus Heresy to a vast array of troops from the 41st millennia. And for the first time, Joytoy are setting foot in the wild and fantastical world of Warhammer Age of Sigmar with 5 new action figures, Neve and the Black Talons. Alright, so very cool. Joytoy has made a ton of new action figures over the last few years. Awesome and amazing Primarchs, a bunch of cool stuff for the Horus Heresy, and then also Warhammer 40k, and now we're getting some Age of Sigmar action figures. So here is our first look at Neve and the Black Talons. So featured in the Warhammer animation show, we've got some Stormcast Eternals, and then also their little companion. Very, very cool. Sigmar's finest assassin and her gang have had their own Warhammer TV show, a collection of miniatures, and now they have the honor of becoming the first Warhammer Age of Sigmar Joytoy figures. All 5 of the Black Talons, Neve herself, Hendrik the Silver Wolf, Shakana Goldenblade, Rostus Oxenhammer, and the enigmatic Lore, Child of the Abyss, have been supersized and are ready to hunt the enemies of the Heldenhammer on their shelves. Alright, so really nice models right here. We have Neve and the Black Talons, and then also their little elf assistant. The Warhammer animation has definitely been pretty popular. I'm not sure if these are like the best figures though to make like the Sigmar debut. I mean, they're definitely cool, but I feel like some named characters outside of like their TV show animations probably would have sold better. And I'm sure a lot of that other stuff is coming, but I really don't know if these are as popular as Games Workshop wants them to be. Now, I'm not saying they're not cool. I'm not saying these action figures aren't awesome or the TV show isn't cool. I just don't know if they have the same like name recognition or the same like purchase appeal that some of the other characters have, especially some of the ones that have been around for like decades or like well known in the lore, have like a big following. And then also I feel like Stormcast Eternals are definitely Games Workshop's Space Marines in the Age of Sigmar world, but I don't think they're nearly as popular. I know Games Workshop wants them to take off and be like their Sigmar Space Marines, but I feel like there's definitely some pushback from the community and they're just not as cool. I personally like the Stormcast Eternals. I definitely think they're cool, but I think overall the way that they're received, and I would imagine if you looked at Games Workshop's actual sales numbers, there's no way that the Stormcast Eternals are making up for 50% of Games Workshop's Age of Sigmar sales. Now, they put them in every box set, so they might move 50% of the actual inventory, but I think a lot of that is because they're force feeding them in like the starter boxes and launch boxes, etc. Alright, so here we have Neve. So we have the bear head, we have the helmeted head, we've got her double axes, also her crossbow, and then some various different hand poses. Really nice detail right here, definitely some striking gold. I like that it's shiny, but it's not like overly kind of shiny. Doesn't have like that plasticky feel to it that sometimes like a painted gold will have. We can see the detail on like the cloth and feathers. Really nice looking toy right here. And then next we have our hammer bro. So he's got a dagger, a couple different hand options, and then of course his mighty hammer. And you can see like the musculature on his arms, even though it has joints for the elbows to actually move and everything, they've been fairly well disguised, so it still looks really good. We've got the big old axe horns on his back. Again, really nice looking toy right here. Alright, and then once again we have the bare-headed option and then helmeted option. We've got the sword, we've got the axe, we've got the dagger, and then a couple of different hand poses as well. We've even got the sheath on the back, which looks like the sword will actually slide into it. So definitely pretty cool. Well done. I would say that these look great. I think it's everything we were expecting for Age of Sigmar, and probably a little bit more outside of maybe like the character recognition. And then we've got our other toy here, and then this one has like the flight stand for the bird, which is pretty cool. I think they build them so that they're pretty durable, but maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing. She's got the crossbow, she's got extra arrows, she's got the hooded face, and then also the bear face, and then a nice looking cloak. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. Then finally we have our elf companion. So again, she has like the flight stand, so you can make her kind of hovering above the ground. She's got her cool staff. Nice details here. Again, the metallics are pretty well done. I like the blue tint on the silver. The cloth looks good. The like little wrinkles in her pants are nice. And again, even though she's a little bit more on the scrawny side with her skinny arms, they've done a pretty good job overall like hiding the joints for the elbows and wrists, kind of like tucked in under the wizard sleeve. So definitely well done. These look good. I think they've done a great job. I think this is probably everything you could expect going forward from Joytoy. And outside of like their actual selection, which I don't hate that it's Neve and the Black Talons, I think they did a pretty nice job. The figures themselves are based on the miniatures, but the faces have been modeled on the characters from the Black Talon animated show on TV. They're available for pre-order right now from the Warhammer merch store and from Joytoy store right away. If you order Warhammer merch, you'll also score an exclusive t-shirt. This is just our first Joytoy reveal of 2025. Stay tuned on Warhammer Community for the rest of the year and find out what other miniatures are getting transformed into display pieces. So yeah, overall pretty well done. It makes sense that they would select somebody from like their Warhammer TV animated series. I think they're definitely pushing in on that. Obviously, they're not going to see nearly as much popularity as you're going to get from some of the 40K names or some of the Horus Heresy figures. But I think overall they'll be pretty well received. But I think realistically, these are probably going to fall short from Games Workshop or Joytoy expectations or hopes. There's absolutely no way that anything from Sigmar is really going to be able to compete with what they'll get out of 40K or Horus Heresy. And then especially because they don't have like Primarch type models or something that's really going to stand out real big, like name recognition from the lore, from the games. I think in general, Age of Sigmar is definitely going to be a little bit of a disappointment. Now, that being said, we can see like the various different poses here with like the Hawk on the flight stand. Definitely really nice. We've got the Lord in a pretty nice and dynamic pose holding a sword in two hands. I'm sure the Hammer Bro looks pretty awesome, like dual wielding his hammer, even though they just pictured him with the dagger. The Elf is pretty cool on her flight stand, so she's obviously hovering above them with the actual stand. And then of course Niev looks pretty cool too. Again, I would have rather seen her displayed with her combat weapons, but I think the cloth on all these models look nice. The detail on the faces look great. The actual armor is really nice and has like a nice kind of shimmering gold without being a little bit like kind of plasticky, which is obviously tough to do with plastic toys. I think in general, the Joytoy stuff looks good on the shelf, and overall Games Workshop is doing pretty nice with this. It also maybe pulls in a little bit of the younger crowd, kind of helps with the transition coming from like your typical kind of toys or action figures into like the miniature realm. And while the paint jobs are pretty nice on these right out of the factory, you could definitely spice them up a little bit, add a little weathering or extra detail work. So even for your like typical hobbyists, these could definitely be fun to work on or just display. So let me know what you think of the new Joytoy Age of Sigmar range. Is there anyone in particular that you would have rather seen come as like the launch? Anyone you think would have been more popular? Any glaring issues with these actual figures themselves? Or improvements that you would have liked to see them make? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm headed off to LVO to play in the Warhammer 40,000 Champs. And I'm out of here.